What's up everybody, my name is Peter, this is My Chaotic Fishing, and as you can see, we're getting stuff set up. I've had a lot of people ask me a number of questions about some pretty specific things in regards to camping, overlanding, how it travels, what I do for travel, some of the things that I've learned, some good things, some bad things, all that jazz. And so today we're gonna take a few moments to share that with you. I'm out here on site, right? I wanna give you kind of a realistic idea of what it takes to be able to do all of this stuff, how I set it up, some of the things that I've learned, some of the things I've done right, some of the things I've done wrong. But all that starts with getting all of this set up, and as you can see, from the tent to the shower to the awning to all the other different portions of my camping setup, my overlanding setup, whatever you want to call it, we're gonna go through it right now. All right, so what's up everybody? Obviously, well, some of you around the country are experiencing sweater weather. Mother Nature here in Texas got that mixed up, and we're still experiencing sweating weather. It is mid-90s. It's hot. It's hot. So rather than do this inside of my garage, let me see if I can get a little better angle there for y'all. So rather than do this inside of my garage, get eaten up by mosquitoes, all that different stuff, we drove a little ways up the road, and we got this all set up, right? We've got amazing shade. You can see on this canopy, it's classified as 270 degrees. Goes out past the front door, okay? It's got an arm that goes all the way up there, and that simply secures over to an eyelet that I've got on the corner of the OVS tent. That pulls this nice and tight, right, from that pivot point there. All these arms, I don't have this one down right now, but all these arms have legs, they're adjustable. They've got little spikes in the bottom of them, and this canopy does come with a full-on kit to actually like strap stuff down if it's super tight. I don't know, for me, if the weather is super gnarly, I'm probably gonna try to do as minimal setup as possible. You know, just being realistic, right? I'm not gonna have all the walls up, which you can do walls with this, right? You've got zippers all the way around this thing. You know, added privacy. I mean, if you've got a spot where you're beaching your boat, you're camping, you've got a base camp maybe that you're kind of setting up for a hike, you know, if you're way up in the mountains, whatever you're doing, there's a lot of different options which you can use this. And I don't know if you can tell, but there's a little breeze, and that's amazing. But inside of the bed of the truck, there's not a breeze. We've added a breeze. We got some artificial stuff going on. Are you staying cool in there?
Yeah.
Yeah? you got big fan going, you got little fan going. That's a lot of electronics. There's a lot of electronics to have for a camping setup. And so a lot of you guys have asked, like, what do we do? How do I do it? All that different jazz. You can see here, there's a whole slew of electronic stuff. I've got some unboxing videos. If y'all like fishing tackle, y'all stick around for that, hit subscribe, and we'll go over that in another video. But you know, we got a bunch of stuff from Bex, we got a bunch of stuff from 6 Cents. You know, you see the DJI drone there, you see we've got multiple battery packs, you see we've got, you know, different floodlights charging, all that different jazz. Give me a minute here, I'm gonna go ahead and cover some of that with you. So some of the easy setups that we got going up here, you know, first and foremost is a simple 12-volt plug into a little 500 watt power source. And for things like a box fan, maybe you can get away with like a little water heater. I have tried my little Amazon coffee pot, and it does pull to more than 500 watts, which not a big deal, right? That just resets. You see it kick off and kick on. It's just not going to have the wattage that you need for that. We do have a solution I'll show you here in just a minute. But you know, for things like fans, there are a couple of the USB-A, USB-C, all the different ports there. You can see right now I'm charging one of my floodlights. I don't need it right now. It's bright as day outside. Yeah, I guess there are clouds in the sky. Those don't count. But I do a lot of trips in this thing, so anytime I have an opportunity to charge up some of my equipment, honestly, literally, I do it. Whether I'm at home, whether I'm on the road, whatever I'm doing. We do need to get the phone. Yeah, see, already dead. So we do need to get that thing on the charger. That's actual phone. That's drone phone. You can see there it says, "I'm dead, Daddy, feed me." We do have a power bank here that I use for not only charging a couple GoPro batteries, those are usually the ones around my neck, but also can use it to recharge phone, speaker, whatever the case. I can run on that. Those are pretty awesome. This thing for the last couple years has been absolutely clutch in keeping GoPro batteries charged. These guys right here are, again, just another amazing find that, you know, if you're worried about what you buy on Amazon, you may want to take a look down at some of the links, because this is stuff that I've been using for the last couple years, and you know, I wouldn't have multiple of them, right, if they weren't doing the job. I love having excessive amounts of power, just because then I don't have to worry. I can take that, I can charge those up. Those things are great for when I'm camping up in there, which, sorry to squirrel, but we're gonna kind of just go all the way around this thing. There's a couple poles inside of there that I'll show you right now as we walk up. You do have a ladder. I don't use the ladder a lot, to be honest with you. That's why I did the whole, see if you can even see. You can't really see, but what I did is I got a 6-inch strip of 3M clear film, put it all the way across that right there where it sticks out, so that as I climb up and down, I literally just step on the tire, step on the rack, jump inside the tent. That's like a very easy process. For me, I'm 40 years old, and I don't know, I don't find that to be difficult. I hop in and up out of there middle of the night when I've got to use the restroom half asleep. I can crawl down and out of there. Knock on wood, I haven't eaten it you know, down onto the ground yet, but no, haven't fallen out, any of that stuff. I've got, you know, big grab handles up there, plenty of points. You can see that little eyelet there from earlier that I mentioned. We do have the dew canopy up, because again, I did want to be able to show you all this stuff. You know, when the humidity is lower, when the dew point's lower, I don't really worry about that thing. But when it is humid, you do get condensation in there if you don't use that, if you don't have the windows open, right? Meaning these screens. You do have two ways to be able to do this, right? You can simply do the screen, right? And that unzips all the way. But then, as you can see there, you do have some other flaps that can, you know, add more privacy, whatever the case. But I like them as open as I can for airflow. You know, in areas where there's a lot of people, obviously I'll go ahead and, you know, bring them up a bit more. But these bars that do go across the top, this thing opens up really easy. There's one bar here, right, and it just flips down, and then the whole tent just collapses down. Then when I open it up, obviously I lift that bar all the way up, it goes to there, and then it's got these brace bars. I don't even have both of them up. I've got one right there, and I've got one actually up. You can hang those fans from them. I usually put one in that corner, one in that corner, or one down there. You know, I put them wherever you need them. And that moving air, when it's hot during the summer, and I know about hot, I mean, Texas summers, sometimes our low at night is like 98 degrees, so it's hot, but that moving air saves you. And I guess, I don't know how else to say it, like I love being outside, I love camping, I love doing all that jazz, and so to me, I deal with it. But speaking of hot, you got this right there. You guys might wonder why you see all this different stuff all over. Obviously we've got 15 gallons of extra fuel, but we've got some white canisters here, and while I don't have you know, the shower setup with me here, that's an extra 10 gallons of water that I can use for a shower. This has a zipper here. We'll walk you inside here since I'm not in my birthday suit. We can show you this deal. But walk right in here. I mean, if I were to give you an idea of this, it's the size of a porta potty. Flips open. I'll go ahead and stick my water jug right there. Even if the canopy is open, even if I got all that stuff open, I can set it right over here on the side, and it'll sit right up there and be able to shower here. You know, as you can see from corner to corner, it's basically my arms spread out all the way, and you know, as far as being able to rinse off at the end of the day, dude, it's awesome. I guess, you know, if you do need to use the restroom, I do have things to take care of that as well. But this gives you a little bit of added privacy. It doesn't take up a lot of room. Obviously not a huge footprint, not a lot of weight. It's all right there, and as you saw in the video, it only takes a few moments to set up. So pop back out, pop back in, and we'll get back to some of the power. So inside of here is a 100 amp hour lithium. It's one of the larger, like the standard Group 31 batteries. And then we got that guy right there, which is one of those lifetime batteries. That's one of the smart batteries, so it's a little bit smaller, and also has Bluetooth. And I'll show you what we can use that one for here in just a second. Let me get this set up and I'll show you. All right, put that up there. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
I do need to grab the inverter out of here. So I do keep a couple inverters in here. Normally this stuff stays locked, and you know, you guys saw on some of my short content that I do have a bigger inverter, but you know, it clips directly to the post. You've got to screw them on. Takes a little bit more work, and honestly, first thing in the morning, I don't want to mess with that. So before I go to bed, what I'll typically do is next to my kayak, I'll get the coffee machine out, a couple bottles of water, and one of these batteries, and this guy clips right on there, clips right on there, turns on and off, a switch, and I've got 2,000 watts of power. This does the coffee machine no problem. I've also got a little crock pot. Sometimes when I get off the water, I'm hungry, I don't really feel like driving anywhere. Deal. So as far as spending like $800 to $1,200 on one of those power boxes, this is more modular. This suits what I need it to do. I can have this running my fridge, freezer, cooler thing, which I don't have with me today, but if you've seen me on the road, if you've been to any of the events with me, if you've been to any of our get-togethers, you've seen that stuff. Cold drinks, obviously, super awesome. I can literally hook this right to that battery, which it stays full, by the way. I've got two 100 watt 12 volt solar panels up on top. You saw that at the beginning of the video. Those things in decent sunlight will give me anywhere from a 5 to 15 amp charge rate. Keep that battery fully charged, and then, like I said, when I want to make coffee in the morning, plug this on, plug my coffee maker right into that. Yeah, I mean, you know, these batteries are 150 bucks these days. You know, a bunch of different brands. I'm not sponsored, not connected to any of them, but you know, like I said, for what I know and for what I'm sharing with you right now, here's a $250 option that's going to do, I don't know, let me know down in the comments what 2,000 watts won't do when you're camping, okay? In terms of, you know, bigger power, like I said, I like to have the excess just in case. I'd rather have it, not need it, than need it, not have it. But this is a breakdown, like I said, for 250 bucks. I can't justify spending $1,200 on one of those, you know, Blue Eddy boxes. I've got power here, I've got USB here, I've got USB here, and then in addition to that, right, if I don't need all of that, I can come over here, same thing, I can gator clip this, and if I'm just recharging power banks, or if I'm recharging drones or anything like that, I don't know, if I ran out of power bank, this guy right here has now given me a USB-A and two 100 watt USB-Cs. So if you need high power for like a MacBook, or I don't know, whatever you need high power USB-C for, this is two 100 watt USB-C outputs. So 100 watts a piece, 200 total. Does it go down if you also use the USB-A? I imagine. I know that this is only rated for 200 watts total. So if you're just using the two USB-Cs, you're at 200 watts. I guess if you include the USB-A in there, it depends on what the charging rate is of that device. But I digress. We're getting into some specifics. But to give you that full breakdown, again, it's been a couple years that I've been traveling with this setup. I've been refining this setup. I've been breaking stuff. I've been watching stuff fail. And after 2 years, this is the deal. This is what you need. And all those links, again, they're in the description. Yes, they're affiliate links. No, they don't cost you anything extra. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, or you're not a subscriber on Instagram, if you're not supporting me in those ways, go use my links. They support all this stuff. And again, it's me sharing 2 years, 80,000 miles driving across the country, fishing, you know, whether it's Texas fishing tournaments, whether it's national tournaments, whether it's Bassmaster, whether it's club, whether it's all that different stuff, whether it's on the kayak, whether it's on my boat, whether it's just camping and fishing on the bank. Like, I've been through it. I'm trying to save you guys some money. I'm trying to save you guys a headache. We're learning the hard way. Y'all, this is the stuff that works. It's easy, it's simple. So I'll go ahead and get some of this put away. You'll see it's not hard. Tacos after this?
Yeah.
Good tacos. All right, and that's it. Got everything tore down. Like I said, you got to see some of the power, you got to see canopy, you got to see tent, how that goes up, how this stays open from the shower to the extra water to the electronics to ways that you can save money. Like I said, all that stuff, it's down in the description. You know, it took me a minute to get all that stuff put away, and an extra 40 bucks or something like that, it might be worth it. But like I said, for that battery and these inverters, you know, I'm into a couple different options for probably less than $300. And if you're gonna get an all-in-one solution, you're looking at spending $800 to $1,200 for as much capacity, the watt hours, the amp hours, however you want to rate all that stuff, as I have available to me. So I'll take the extra minute, put that stuff together, take it apart to be able to have that at my disposal before I spend an additional, you know, $500 to $1,000 for an all-in-one box that probably doesn't have the capacity that I want when I hit the road for anywhere. Honestly, my trips are all regularly 5 to 10 days, and I don't always have AC power. In fact, most times I don't. So I rely on solar, I rely on capacity, I rely on the experience that I've put together and shared with you. I do hope that it's of some value to at least a few of y'all. My name is Peter, this is My Chaotic Fishing. I respond to every comment, so let me know if you have any questions down below. Like the video, hype the video, do all that different YouTube stuff. Again, I'm just trying to share this stuff with you because it's experience that I've gained from being on the road the last 2 years. I appreciate y'all. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying rad. Until next time, peace.